If America is ready for its first woman president, I only got one thing to say. It's about damn time! It's about damn time!
Please miss me with this wickedness. I don't want nothing to do with this wicked tribe. Man. Things is looking bad for us. They're looking bad for us. We're going to have to pull out the big guns. Who's on our list? Man, we going to have to go get Beyonce. We going to have to get those Destiny girls. We going to have to pull out the Destiny girls. We going to have to pull out the old Lizzo. Yeah, we going to have to pull out the Lizzo. Man, you know who else we going to have to pull out? We're going to have to find our girl, Michelle Obama girl. Well, I don't know. We're going to have to find Michelle Obama and we're going to have to bring her out here because we're going to need all the women. We're going to need all these black Negro women to come out here and say, we is for the Kamala Harris because we need to win, and so we're gonna have to pull them out. Call them, get them on the phone. This group of celebrities is really giving we the women a bad name. Hello, friend, and welcome back to The Conservative Poet with me, Amania. As you know, on this channel, we talk everything politics, reactions, political commentary, a little bit of humor, some parody to drive home the crazies that we are seeing in the society. So if you're back, that means you enjoyed the content. So help me out, friend. Like, share, and comment. That way other people can find The Conservative Poet and they can enjoy this awesome content that we're putting out. So thank you very much for your participation. Again, like, share, comment. It all helps me out. Without further ado, we're going to get into this video right now. In today's conversation, we're going to take a look at some of these black celebrity women who's come out here to stomp the ground for Kamala Harris. We got the big names, those people who's call themselves, the king and queen. We got the queen herself, the queen bee, Beyonce, who's come out here. They told the world that she was going to be performing for Miss Kamala Harris, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. She only did a 4-minute talking to the people to talk about how we should be celebrating the death of babies. Anyway, and so we also have the ex-first lady, we're going to use the term loosely, lady, and so Michelle Barack Hussein Obama, the wife, right? So Michelle Obama comes out to talk to people, of course, about women and their rights and how we're not going back and all of these things and how the men have got to stand up and do their part to make sure that women's rights are kept. And we've got the Lizzo, the big Bizzo, who comes out here once again to stomp for Kamala Harris, to say Kamala Harris is fighting for we the women. So we're going to talk a little about these women. And let's not forget, we've got one more. She is the other half to Beyonce, the Destiny's Child group. And I can't remember her name at this moment, but it'll come to me. And this is the one who says, we are Christian. We are God and daughters of Christ. What was her name? I think it was Michelle. It's Michelle. I'm not remembering. The Destiny's Child girl. You know what I mean. We're going to talk about that right now. The first up of the useless tribe of Kamala Harris is none other than the obese heavyweight Lizzo, who I have to say, she used to be a lot worse, but she has been working on her physique and she is looking very nice. She is losing a lot of the weight and she actually had clothes on. She wasn't out here exposing every parts of her big, wide bottom and all these other things like she normally do, exposing, her big wide, all that. So I have to say she was a little bit more put together today. So we have to say that. You can't constantly just talk negative. You got to give them some positive as well. So she has been working on her physique and she's looking better, healthier. So anyway, Lizzo from Detroit, born and raised, right? So she came out here to talk to her Detroit kinfolk about how they need to vote for Kamala Harris because Donald Trump had something to say and they didn't like that too much. We're going to let Lizzo say it in her own words. But what I want to chime into real quick is that if we're going to turn the rest of the country like a state who has stopped producing, the country needs to produce. Detroit has stopped producing because leftists has taken over the auto industry and it doesn't produce anymore. They have killed the production in Detroit. But Lizzo knows that. But yet, you can't come out here to say the truth about what's happened to your beloved Detroit. It used to be a thriving place, but it no longer is. So here's Lizzo on the campaign trail in reference to her beloved hometown of Detroit.
What up, though? You know all the best things were made in Detroit. Coney dogs, Faygo, and Lizzo.
You want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president. You're going to have a mess on your hands.
You know, they say if Kamala wins, then the whole country will be like Detroit. Okay? Proud like Detroit. Resilient like Detroit. We're talking about the same Detroit that innovated the auto industry and the music industry. So put some respect on Detroit's name. If you ask me if America is ready for its first woman president, I only got one thing to say. It's about damn time! It's about damn time!
Detroit used to be a powerhouse. They've done some great things in music and in the auto industry. They even birthed our boy, Dave Chappelle. But what has Detroit done lately? They haven't done much because they have been capped off at the knees. They are not able to do the kind of work that they are able to do because of Democrat policies. And here you are, a daughter of Detroit, advocating for those people who has crumbled Detroit. Remember Bill Clinton? Do you remember how he shipped jobs away from Detroit to other countries, China? Do you remember that, Miss Lizzo? Detroit is resilient, but it has been capped off at the knees and is unable to produce. And that, my friend, happened under Democrat watch, like Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Bill Clinton, Obama, and so on. Shouldn't you be out here advocating, really advocating for your people, your brothers and sisters, Lizzo? Yeah. Friend, are you exhausted with the gaslighting from the left? Because I know I am. And sometimes it can be a tad bit stressful. And in those moments, I whip out my patriotic candles and I burn for freedom. I burn for our country. And I get a little bit of relief from the insanity that's coming from the left. So today you can get it 30% off at the Orlando Patriot. Grab yourselves some candles to relieve your stress as we hone into this election and it's becoming more and more stressful. Grab some for your friends, family, even grab some for a liberal or a leftist because they are stressed out too. So 30% off orlandopatriot.com. I'll see you there. Thank you. I really appreciate your help. So I've never been a huge Beyonce, Destiny's Child. Yeah, I've listened to the music, obviously, but I've never really been a huge celebrity, worshiper. That's just not my thing. But when these girls came out, Destiny's Child, I believe they were Christian singers, gospel singing for Jesus, because they loved God and Jesus and what's the word? Morality. They loved Christianity. They loved God. They loved righteousness. But as you get into Hollywood, those tendencies change, right? And so they were no longer singing for Jesus. They were now singing for the demons. And you can tell that by their videos, their songs. And when they stopped being the group, we saw the queen bee herself, what she's turned into. They're no longer in here for Jesus and God. And that's typical of, these people, Hollywood and all of that. So, but I believe that Kelly Rowland, I believe I called her Michelle before. So Kelly Rowland, I believe when they broke up, I think she was going back into her Christian roots. So I was very surprised to hear that, she was a part of this as well. And she came out to stomp the ground for for Kamala Harris. And I says, wow, I thought she was finding her way back to Jesus. She was singing gospel again. Right? Am I mistaken there? Wasn't she singing gospel again? Trying to get back into the good graces of God? I guess not. Let's hear what she had to say.
A moment, Houston, where we grab back the pen from those who are trying to write an American story of division and hatred. A moment when we grab back the pen from those who are trying to write an American story of misogyny and racism. We are grabbing back the pen from those who are trying to write an American story that would deny the right for women to make our own decisions about our bodies. Houston, we are grabbing back the pen. We are grabbing back the pen, that pen, to forge a new path with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. We are grabbing back the pen to write a new American story, a story of community, of equality, strength, of kindness, and of hope. When I was a little girl and I pledged allegiance to the United States of America, that meant something to me. That flag meant something to me. And today, that means grabbing that pen and casting my vote, as I already did 2 days ago, for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Now, Houston, you've already had a hand in creating destiny. So do what you do and do this thing again.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris grabbed the pen on day one of their administration, and they took their pen and they erased all of these amazing Trump policies that were helping the country. With the swipe of their pen, they removed the stay in Mexico policies for all of the illegals coming in here. With the swipe of their pen, they killed the Keystone Pipeline deal. So therefore, we could not drill in this country, and therefore, we are facing the kind of economy that we're facing now. With the swipe of their pen, they did so much damage to this country. And so, with Donald Trump coming back in with the swipe of his pen, he is going to fix the damages that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden has done to this country. But I'm going to take you now to a poem, so to speak, that Kamala Harris did way back when, telling us how she has used her pen to do some grave damage as a prosecutor. And we know she used that pen to lock up a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of black men for small crimes. Yes, Kamala Harris, in her own words, about what she did with the power of her pen.
The power I have as a prosecutor is that with a swipe of my pen, I can charge someone with a misdemeanor, the lowest level offense possible. And by virtue of that swipe of my pen, you will have to go to a courthouse and stand in line. You will have to come out of pocket and hire an attorney. You may get arrested for a few hours. You will be embarrassed in your community. You will miss time from coming onto the Google campus. All because with the swipe of my pen, I've charged you with a crime, which I may choose to dismiss 2 weeks later. It's an incredible amount of power. You know, the power I have as a prosecutor is that with a swipe of my pen, I can charge someone.
Seen that, heard that, good. With the swipe of their pen, they have destroyed this country. With the swipe of their pen.
We are at the precipice of an incredible shift, the brink of history. I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother. A mother who cares deeply about the world my children and all of our children live in. A world where we have the freedom to control our bodies. A world where we're not divided. Our past, our present, our future merge to meet us here. Imagine our daughters growing up seeing what's possible with no ceilings, no limitations. Imagine our grandmothers. Imagine what they feel right now. Those who have lived to see this historic day. Even those who are no longer physically with us. Imagine all of their sacrifice. The sacrifices made so we can witness the strength of a woman standing in her power, reimagining what leadership is. For all the men and women in this room and watching around the country, we need you. Your voice has power and magnitude. Your vote is one of the most valuable tools, and we need you. Your freedom is your God-given right, your human right.
We are standing on the verge of making history to have the first Black woman president of the United States of America. I'm all shook up with emotion. I'm just all shook up with some goodness in my heart that we're going to have a woman to be our president. We have come such a long way. And today we are on the precipice of history. Right? And so she's here to celebrate. She's here to stand for women and her daughters so that they have the right to kill innocent human beings. She ended that portion on It's your God-given right as a human being to be able to do whatever you want with your body, to be able to be free. It's your God-given right to be free. What about the right of the babies? 99% of the abortions are not happening to those who have experienced incest or rape or impregnated in that way. No, the 99% use it as a means of contraception. Pregnant, go get an abortion. We're pregnant, we're going to go deal with it. We're pregnant, it's become 99%. So you're standing here, you're not really advocating for those women who's been raped. Again, 1%. And it's 1% that the mother's life is in danger. The rest of it is just women getting they freak on, not caring about their bodies, not caring about putting themselves in situations where they're going to find themselves pregnant. Beyonce. How about you teach your daughter to say, hey, let's not put you in that category. Let's not put you in that situation. Let's get you married. You have your husband. Before you go out here, get yourself pregnant and have to make decisions like killing your baby. How about you're here for your daughters? You're here for women? You're here for your sisters? How about you truly stand on that and say, hey, my sisters, hey, my daughter, hey, my women, let us consider putting ourselves first and not putting ourselves in situations where we get ourselves pregnant first. Let's be wives first before we're out here promiscuous first. And so therefore, if you get yourself pregnant, that human that you're carrying, it might have a chance at life. Miss Beyonce. Next up on this tribe of Black Negro women for Kamala Harris is none other than the Madame, the wife of Barack Hussein Obama, Mrs. Obama, Michelle. So she came out to stomp for Kamala like the other foolish women has. And again, all they have is the abortion conversation. That's all they've got. Obama, who came out here to say that Margaret Sanger was a good person. Margaret Sanger did good work. He admired the work that she did. Margaret Sanger, who began the Planned Parenthoods in Brooklyn, in the Black community. They were experimenting on Blacks. That's who Barack Hussein Obama admires. And now today his wife stands here to tell you how the men need to start supporting Black women to support Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris is here to change. She's here for change, and she's here to do good for Black people, just like Margaret Sanger did. The Obamas cherish Margaret Sanger. Let's hear him talk about it.
Do you believe in sin? When I say believe, I don't mean believe in committing sin. Do you believe there is such a thing as sin?
Well, I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world that have disease from their parents, that have no chance in the world to be a human being, practically. Delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things just marked when they're born. That, to me, is the greatest sin.
The term eugenics is basically a set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of a human population. There have been various applications of eugenics, perhaps the most famous being the Germans before and during World War II, which was condemned by the Nuremberg war crimes trials. But the Germans did not invent eugenics. In fact, they were inspired by the founder of the taxpayer-funded Planned Parenthood. The truth behind the genesis of that organization and its founder are much darker than most Americans realize. Who was the real Margaret Sanger? Why was she heralded by the Third Reich as the greatest socialist in America? Why do modern Democrats who claim to support the African American population justify presenting her as a cultural icon?
No matter how great the challenge, no matter how fierce the opposition, there's one thing the past few years have shown. It's that Planned Parenthood is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere today. It's not going anywhere tomorrow. As long as we've got to fight to make sure women have access to quality, affordable health care, and as long as we've got to fight to protect a woman's right to make her own choices about her own health, I want you to know that you've also got a president who's going to be right there with you, fighting every step of the way.
Seen that, heard that, good.
We could be right back to the days before Roe, which many young people here don't even remember. The days when abortion wasn't as safe as it is today. The days when the number of mothers of color dying in childbirth was 30 to 40% higher than when it was under Roe. So to the men who love us, let me just try to paint a picture of what it will feel like if America, the wealthiest nation on earth, keeps revoking basic care from its women, and how it will affect every single woman in your life. Your girlfriend could be the one in legal jeopardy if she needs a pill from out of state or overseas, or if she has to travel across state lines because the local clinic closed up. Your wife or mother could be the ones at higher risk of dying from undiagnosed cervical cancer because they have no access to regular gynecological care. Your daughter could be the one too terrified to call the doctor if she's bleeding during an unexpected pregnancy. Your niece could be the one miscarrying in her bathtub after the hospital turned her away.
And on and on and on she went, giving men the hammer to tell them it will be your responsibility to protect women, because if you don't, it's going to be your fault. If Donald Trump gets in, it'll be your fault. If your woman dies on the table while having an abortion, it'll be your fault. If your woman has all these problems, your niece, your daughter, if they have any, it's your fault, man. It's your fault. It's your fault. And she went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. As if, again, you swallow a pregnancy. Like, I'm going to swallow a pregnancy. Not like you're actually doing things to get yourself pregnant. This is what bothers me the most about all of this, is that they never talk about how we got here. How did they get pregnant? They had unprotected sex. That's how. They were out there fornicating. That's how. But they never talk about this. Women's rights, all this. But they never say, well, maybe we should tell our girls to keep their legs closed. How about that, Michelle Obama? Have you told your girls to keep their legs closed? Or are you sending them straight to Planned Parenthood when they do get knocked up, right? You sending them straight to go and kill your grandbaby, Michelle Obama? You're sending them to kill your own seed, Michelle Obama? You and your husband? You're a disgrace. And I cannot stomach you. Literally. simpleton black celebrity women who are in it to gain more power, to gain more popularity, and they're doing nothing good for the human society. And that's who you have here, ladies and gentlemen. Simpleton Negro women. Friends, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for taking the time. Hope you learned something today. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And talk to me in the comments. Let me know, what did you think about this video? Did you know about Margaret Sanger and Obama? What did you learn anything about anything here? I would love the feedback because it helps YouTube to push this video so other people can see it. You guys, I'm trying to do some great work here and I need your help so it can be pushed out to the algorithm so other people can see what we're doing here on The Conservative Poet. So thank you very much for your help. God bless you and keep you, and I shall see you in another video. And boy, am I glad I gave them the hammer today.